Dames en here, die akademiese prosesie sal binnekort inbeweeg. U word versoek om asseblief op te staan.
Bomma le bontate, molokoloko wa dirutegi o tla tsena mo nakong e kopana. Le kgopelwa go ema. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will enter shortly. You're kindly requested to stand.
By the powers vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees with all the associated rights and privileges will be conferred to the candidates whose name appear in the program. You may be seated. We now request you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. Thank you. As Vice Principal of the University of Pretoria, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this afternoon's event. I would like to particularly acknowledge the presence of the Dean, Professor Steyn, the Deputy Dean, Professor Minor, the Director of Enrollment and Student Administration at the University, Dr. Mateja, all of our chairpersons of schools, heads of departments, directors, any emerita and honorary professors here this afternoon, as well as all of our lecturers and their partners. Also like to acknowledge the representative of the Student Representative Council, as well as all persons to whom degrees will be conferred upon this afternoon. And of course, without you, we will not have a ceremony. So you are really the most important people here this afternoon. But I also want to acknowledge the presence of your family, your friends, your spouses, your partners. Please feel very welcome at this afternoon's ceremony. So this is the 30th of 36 ceremonies. That gives you an indication of the size of this institution. And of course, this afternoon is the Faculty of Engineering, the Built Environment and Information Technology. And it's their final graduation ceremony of 6 ceremonies, because EBIT, as it's called, is one of the biggest faculties, if not the biggest. They sort of compete with education on a year-by-year basis for being the biggest faculty, but certainly the biggest in the country. And so delivering a student for graduation means that you had behind you really an army of people who have supported you to get to this point. And we take both teaching and learning and research very seriously at this university. And this afternoon we have mostly postgraduate students that is graduating today. EBIT has completed the graduation of all its undergrad students, altogether around 1,740 for this season alone. But coming back to the notion of having an army behind you, we invest heavily in research, and that's why you are able to sit here this afternoon having benefited from, for some of you, the start of your postgraduate career. I would hope that some of you that are receiving your honors degree this afternoon are looking forward to wearing a red gown soon. So we pride ourselves of the quality of our research, and of course postgraduate students is a very important part of that endeavor. But we similarly value the quality of our teaching and learning as well. And we see teaching and learning and research as an integrated endeavor, because when we prepare our undergrad students, we're not only preparing them for the world of work, we're also preparing them to commence their postgraduate route, which is a route that takes you into your research career. And so, as a university, we ensure that our academics are up to speed on the latest developments in pedagogy, in classroom practice, in the theory of teaching and learning. But we also ensure that we support them in their own research, and we know that without you, the students, their research can also not be successful. So in the end, getting you to this point has been a collective endeavor. But we do acknowledge that it hasn't come without sacrifice on your side. We know that it takes hours and hours of commitment, of dedication. You sometimes ask yourself, especially when you're in your PhD, on your PhD journey, sort of, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to continue to do this? Because it is a long journey. It can take anything from 3 to 5 years. For some people, it'll take a little bit longer. And so I think especially when you do your PhD, you have to be commended for seeing it through. And so I want to especially acknowledge those of you that are receiving your PhDs this afternoon. But I want to say congratulations from the university for all of us, from all of us. But I also want to say to the faculty of Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology, congratulations and well done on your 1,740 students for this season. Finally, whilst you are receiving your degree today, I hope that this is not the end of the journey for you. Some of you will continue with masters to doctors, but some of you will focus on your career. But that doesn't mean that we end the relationship. You are already an alumni of this university, and I hope that you will strengthen that relationship as alumni with the University of Pretoria to ensure that we remain one of the best universities in this country and on this continent, because it's never just the effort of one single individual. It takes a collective to get us to be one of the top universities. And as an alumni, we look forward, or an alumnus, we look forward to having that relationship with you. Thank you very much. I now request the Dean to introduce me to the candidates present whose names appear in the program.
Madam Vice Principal, the supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates in the program.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Herr Klaas Morkel van Eysen-Kombrink, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science with a thesis titled Evaluating a Human-Machine Student Intervention Framework in Higher Education from Legacy Data, prepared under the supervision of Professor Vukosi Marivate. In his thesis, the candidate developed an innovative method for identifying and assisting struggling students in basic and higher education through artificial intelligence. The framework addressed ethical concerns by generating synthetic data, using this data to enable an agent to learn from data and human interactions, efficiently recommending interventions. The primary goal was to reduce the burden on academic staff for non-academic support. The system was developed using deep learning and probabilistic modeling and underwent evaluation in machine learning classification tasks and a reinforcement learning multi-armed bandit problem, fostering collaboration between humans and machines for scalable interventions. Deep learning faced underfitting challenges, while probabilistic models required substantial computational power. The framework revolutionizes the creation of infinite synthetic data and the design of a virtual environment, enabling an artificially intelligent system to recommend effective and ethical interventions for struggling students. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Thank you. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Fumilola Ukwelu Fakbola, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science with a thesis titled IoT Forensic Readiness Model for Networks with Shadow IoT, prepared under the supervision of myself. A shadow IoT device is a device connected to the internet. These devices can subtly connect to and interact with other legitimate devices in an organization's network infrastructure without its knowledge. However, a significant challenge is that shadow IoT devices may harm its connected networks. The candidate identified a readiness framework for digital forensic evidence gathering. Should a security or privacy breach in connection with such a shadow IoT device occur? In this research, a model is proposed. A hypothetical scenario involving shadow IoT devices was modeled, evaluated, and validated in a healthcare environment. The evaluation results indicated that the proposed shadow IoT digital forensic readiness model was highly proactive and effective at detecting and capturing shadow IoT device activities on disparate IoT networks. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Stanislaus Agava, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Science with a thesis titled The Feasibility of Offering Standardized Data Literacy Services at Selected Private University Libraries in Kenya, prepared under the supervision of Dr. Marty van Deventer as supervisor and myself as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate explored the potential of providing data literacy in Kenyan private university libraries to address challenges in managing research data. The study covered crucial aspects of data literacy for effective navigation and utilization in the digital era. A comprehensive framework was developed assessing faculty and postgraduate student needs, organizational readiness, and stakeholder involvement revealed a significant gap between existing library services and data literacy requirements. Findings underscored academic libraries' vital role, emphasizing the urgency to adapt to evolving research needs and offering practical recommendations to enhance data literacy in Kenyan universities. This research enables academic research data quality, stakeholder collaboration, and research policy adaptation. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and principles on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Rachel Fisher, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Science with a thesis titled Developing a Framework to Guide the Design of Value Pluralistic Artificial Intelligence Ethics Policies, prepared under the supervision of myself as well as Professor P.N.J. Duvenage as co-supervisor. In her thesis, the candidate developed a framework guiding the design of AI ethics policies by exploring the necessity of individualized policies versus alignment with global standards. This framework emphasizes the centrality of information ethics in addressing the ethical implications of AI and emerging technologies. The ongoing design and development of information and communication technologies change how people operate and experience.
Aligning teams and setting clear UX objectives, which can lead to benefits such as increased user satisfaction, engagement, and loyalty. The thesis contributes a systematic approach to enhancing the UX interactive digital technologies, providing a valuable tool for academia and industry. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Rendani Marston-Creer, who has complied with the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology with a thesis titled Promoting Innovation at Public South African Airports, a framework, prepared under the supervision of myself as well as Prof. Karina de Villiers as co-supervisor. In this thesis, a new framework was developed using a grounded theory approach, including 25 interviews and 7 focus group sessions with airport general and management staff. Desk research was conducted to develop the framework. Industry and academic experts then evaluated the framework. The framework is based on several overarching themes, including reflection on innovation creation activities, pragmatic yet forward-looking guidance, effective knowledge management, collaboration with internal and external stakeholders, and navigating complex business environments. These themes were then linked to various stages of innovation creation process, such as fostering creativity, generating and selecting ideas, analyzing selected concepts, implementing innovations, and operating them effectively. The framework was further refined through consultation with subject matter experts. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Hester Aletta Terblanche, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology with a thesis titled The Development of a Technology-Enhanced Brain-Based Framework for Science Education, a South African case study, prepared under the supervision of myself as well as Prof. Karina de Villiers as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate focused on improving the science performance of undergraduate students from disadvantaged socioeconomic backgrounds at the South African University of Technology. The study presented a technology-enhanced, brain-based learning framework for science education to improve intrinsic motivation, mindset, and overall science performance. The proposed framework incorporates brain-based learning principles, mindfulness techniques, mind moves as brain exercises, understanding mindset, multisensory teaching, and the promotion of metacognition. The framework was tested through an experiment focused on a topic from the first-year physics curriculum. Standardized tests were used to measure mindset and motivation, and a science test was written before and after the intervention. The intervention facilitated a growth mindset, positively influencing science performance, but not significantly affecting motivations. Answers from open questions show that most students felt optimistic that the intervention helped them understand science better. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Mike Wang Kongolo, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology with a thesis titled Ensemble Learning and Genetic Algorithm for the Detection of Novel Network Threat Anomaly using the UG Ransom dataset, prepared under the supervision of myself as well as Dr. S.M. Kasongo as co-supervisor. Cybersecurity faces challenges in identifying and mitigating unidentified network vulnerabilities, which is critical for preventing zero-day attacks. The absence of data sets for distinguishing normal versus abnormal network behavior hinders the development of proactive detection strategies. An obstacle in proactive prevention methods is the absence of comprehensive data sets for contrasting normal versus abnormal network behavior. The data set enabling such contrast would significantly expedite threat anomaly detection and mitigation. The thesis would significantly expedite threat anomaly mitigation itself. The thesis, Ensemble Learning and Genetic Algorithm for the Detection of Novel Network Threat Anomaly using the UG Ransom datasets, introduces UG Ransom, a dataset for anomaly detection in network traffic. Using cyclostationary patterns in network behavior analysis, the research combined ensemble learning with genetic algorithms to detect novel threats using UG Ransom. This approach demonstrates the effectiveness of deep forest model-based early threat detection, significantly advancing cybersecurity. The study paves the way for more robust security measures against zero-day attacks, highlighting the importance of novel or innovative data sets in cybersecurity. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Jana Klingenberg, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Publishing with a thesis titled Between Culture and Commerce, the Influence of Cultural and Commercial Values on the Publishing Strategies of Two South African Publishing Houses, prepared under my supervision. In her thesis, the candidate investigated how cultural and commercial values influence the editorial strategies of two publishers, Himman and Rousseau and Tafelberg. Primary sources formed the basis for the analysis of the case studies, including archival documents, bibliographical analysis of publishing lists, and interviews. The study shows that although a publisher can never exist without both financial and cultural motives, a shift towards a greater emphasis on financial motives has occurred. The study also demonstrates how South African publishers' cultural capital was connected to specific local identities, especially Afrikaner and Afrikaans identities. This thesis contributes to publishing studies research by showing how South African publishers have been affected by their particular local history and global trends, such as the move towards commercially focused publishing strategies. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Wynand Bekes, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis titled Towards a User Experience-Based Online Lead Generation Framework Contributing to Business Value, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Alta van der Merwe as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate proposes that user experience combined with lead generation processes can increase business value. The framework was developed through design science research and a survey, document analysis, participatory design, and A/B tests were used as data collection methods. Combining document analysis and participatory design ensured that prominent information from both practical and academic spheres was considered. The 9 design principles encapsulated by the framework was subjected to A/B testing on the case organization's website. The result showed that implementing user experience design principles onto a lead generation website can significantly increase chances of conversion. The rise of digitalization leaves businesses constantly searching for ways to produce business value. Therefore, this framework, combining user experience and lead generation, provides new value-creating pathways and competitive advantage for companies. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congrats.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Carla Coetzee, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy Information Systems with a thesis titled A Framework for Teaching Numeracy to Novice Underprepared Programming Students at Universities of Technology in South Africa, prepared under the supervision of myself. In this thesis, the candidate argues that South African students enter higher education with inadequate numeracy skills, which impacts novice programming students' ability to effectively solve real-world quantitative problems inherent in programming. A design science research process, enhanced by soft systems methodology, was used to develop the numeracy for coding, the N4C framework. Qualitative data from focus group interviews, a case study, a literature review, and quantitative data from a survey were collected and analyzed. Results underscored the unpreparedness of novice programming students for quantitative programming aspects, emphasizing the necessity for educators to incorporate numeracy skills when teaching programming. The components of the N4C framework included numeracy concepts, context, teaching and learning strategies, and computational thinking, which provide guidelines for educators at the Universities of Technology in South Africa, but remain adaptable to diverse student profiles and contexts. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congrats.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Terence Kevin Fenn, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis titled Community Fitting, a novel design research method for co-projecting smart urban places, prepared under the supervision of Professor Rene Naidu. In this thesis, the candidate employed design ethnography to explore how design as a generative, futures-orientated method of research inquiry can be practiced to co-anticipate with a community their preferred smart urban neighborhood places and, through projective research practice, communicate this preference to professional audience involved in the field of smart urban design. The contributions of the study include the novel design research method of community fitting, a set of related principles for practicing community fitting, a general conceptualization for design-led research in which design practice and artifacts take a central generative role, and playsonascapes, novel research tools that reflect both participatory generated design strategies and ideal projective scenarios that imaginatively suggest preferred future smart neighborhood places. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Warren Gabrick, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis titled Toward an IT Business Value Appraiser Competency Model, a phenomenographic inquiry prepared under the supervision of Professor Rene Naidu. In this thesis, the candidate explored how the experiences of mining technology experts inform the competent practice of appraising the business value of IT. The study introduced a new IS competency focusing on 5 ways of appraising IT business value. Moreover, this research presented a novel approach to improving understanding of IS professional practice, exemplified by understanding how to practice IT business value appraisal work competently. This study also guides how professional IS competence curation and training can be enriched by cross-fertilizing qualitative interpretive accounts with quantitative rationalistic approaches to provide a more holistic view of professional competence in IT business value appraisal. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Gosikona Theoren Musweli, who has complied with the requirements of the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis titled Democratizing Data Science Education, prepared under the supervision of myself and with Professor Hosana Twinomurinzi as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate proposed a pioneering framework for enhancing data science skills through transdisciplinary pedagogies. The candidate demonstrated insight into the evolving data science landscape to address the multifaceted challenges of transdisciplinary education. The research, rooted in critical realism philosophy and guided by the actor network theory, culminated in the innovative data science education composite pedagogical model. A real-world evaluation substantiated the model's efficacy, with participating students excelling in the project-based learning environments, underscoring the transformative power of the data science education model. This model should revolutionize data science education by aligning it with industry needs and effectively bridging the gap between diverse student backgrounds and practical applications. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce you to Edu Emery Scholes, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, with a thesis titled Towards the Requirements Elicitation Knowledge Visualization Framework to Improve the Accuracy of Information Systems Requirements, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate proposes an innovative approach to utilize knowledge visualization during the requirements elicitation process with the aim to increase the accuracy of information systems requirements. The study produced the requirements eliciting knowledge visualization framework, which guides requirements engineers to visualize existing requirements knowledge, to increase the communication and collaboration of stakeholders, to promote the successful creation, transfer and sharing of requirements knowledge, and to increase the accuracy of information systems requirements. The framework addresses critical challenges in the requirements elicitation process, such as processes leading to inaccurate requirements that negatively impact the success rate of information system development projects. The framework bridges the divide between knowledge visualization and the requirements elicitation process and forms the foundation for further advancement of knowledge visualization during the requirements elicitation process. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce you to my son, Stefan Smuts. Who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis titled Organizations and Industry 4.0 Towards Organizational Transformation, prepared under the supervision of Professor Alta van der Merwe. The global landscape is shifting to the cyber-physical era, with interconnected products and services wielding significant influence in organizations. In this thesis, the candidate proposes an Industry 4-related organizational transformation framework. The framework was developed through executing 4 cycles of design research, aiming to define strategic organizational perspectives impacted by Industry 4, to identify capability monitoring mechanisms, and to prioritize the key organizational capabilities identified. The resultant framework encompasses 18 key organizational capabilities intricately linked to the dynamic capabilities of sensing, seizing, transforming, and supporting. These capabilities are strategically prioritized to guide organizations through the complexities of transformation with embedded monitoring mechanisms facilitating real-time assessment. The operationalization of the framework through visualization and application guidelines furnishes organizations with an articulated roadmap for understanding and prioritizing their Industry 4 transformation journey. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology. Monica Ayman.
Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, the following candidate has complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology, Big Data Science. Fiskani Banda with distinction. Johnson Dlamini. Mark Gagiano with distinction. Sean Johnson. Stefanus Kershop with distinction. Laratu Kumisi. Mashadi Ledwaba. Mokhadi Matloga. Lesego Matuyane. Clunela Mtoninchi. Sakiwu Mtinkwa. Ndamulelu Nemakavani. Derwin Ngumani. Kulile O'Reilly. Johannes Pinar with distinction. Tatu Rakamose. Erika Scholes. Trishanta Srikisoon with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidate has complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology, ICT Information Science. Gosiami Kodisang. Ropafatsu Nyobo. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology, ICT Management. Remelda de Jager with distinction. Johannes Grobler. Kelebogile Kwadi. Lennox Katazile. Ndlaleni Ledwaba. Kyochipile Machikapi with distinction. Sefaku Mahlo. Katlehu Malapane. Annie Mare with distinction. Alan Masawi with distinction. Machemu Masekwa Meng with distinction. Hamilton Mbata with distinction. Kanyani Mshlongo. Octavia Mnyakeni. Loratu Mufela. Nicolaas Moller with distinction. Pambili Mzaka. Nkululeku Nkobo with distinction. Christine Olkers with distinction. Yo Owusu Boake. Momweti Sefika. Daniel Seleka. Mpo Sibia with distinction. Rafiwa Singo. Gustav Trenwith with distinction. Cindy van den Berg. Carla Young with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology, Information Systems. Ashley Gwangwadza with distinction. Uyena Maglasela with distinction. Kiachile Ramokolo. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Computer Science. Pula Ramoko. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science, Computer Science. Stephen Jordan with distinction. Rahul Kapoor with distinction. Detladi Mek Makatu. Giselle Marais with distinction. Jared O'Reilly with distinction. Savas Panajeotu with distinction. Heinrich van Deventer with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Science Honours, Information Science, Juara Abdul Kader. Theo Aina. Rafael Alfonso. Denzel Badenhorst. Douglas Bwumbi. Dikaledi Chilopo. Zanil Dlamini. Rifuwu Jamukeri. Sungita Grewan with distinction. Tanachwanashi Gwechai with distinction. Joshua Holcroft. Romana Ismail. Simon Kabini. Taurai Kalinde. Menka Kara. Cole Lawrence. Londi Lukele. Chepu Mabogo. Adelaide Makamo. Ofensi Makubedu. Margarida Makufani with distinction. Ronstad Makore. Mapula Malachi. Innocent Masilela. Karabu Matopo. Zandile Mchiyemana. Aman Minti. Tembinkosi Mkondu. Waratua Montuli. Smangalisu Murerwa. Tabang Musekhle. Chapisu Mpalele. Mpumalelu Mchali. Innocentia Musoki. Mulisa Muswedi. Latabu Ndumu with distinction. Tolile Nkobo. Nozipu Ngubani. Sakile Nkosi. Senenschlanchla Nonche. Victor Ubasi with distinction. David Oduntan. Claudius Falani. Gerard Pieters with distinction. Jolofelu Rakhalakani. Londanani Rambau. Diego Ramotloa. Sifumalele Sibiya. Kanya Sefumba. Laratu Siklangu. Yusina Simango. Medi Simba. Duduzile Skosana. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Science Honours, Multimedia. Stewart Kutsie, with distinction. Ayla Ings, with distinction. Brian Irons. Kiara Jaimungal, with distinction. Vashisht Lala. Chanel Mulder. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Science Honours, Publishing. Nicole Dean, with distinction. Thanks. Leslie Edgar. Monique Groenewald, with distinction. Savannah Harvard, with distinction. Monique Hayes, with distinction. Riglan Mbuweni. Mulweli Muvango. Mutsa Nyatanga. Kairia Chimweneka. Diandi Swartz, with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Technology Honours, Information Systems. Jerome Amenigi. Mohammed Antulai. Megan Chetty. Makesh Chigariro. Cheyu Chomba. Willem Koetser with distinction. Simishka Dasupan. Darshil Gokal. Kechemoditshwe Khaswane. Mohit Lala. Chegefatsu Lechaba. Mohammed Lunat. Maglatsi Madisha. Joshua Mafolu. Anel Majola. Rabetswe Manda. Sipu Mafumo. Reagile Matloga. Katlegu Mohale. Mohammed Musa. Mohammed Mullah. Tumelu Peku. Diashka Sital with distinction. Daniel Songezi. Daniel Stewart. Hermanus Taljard. Man Choi. Brandon Wiley. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science, Honours, Computer Science. Luka Asmanov with distinction. Ryan Broomer. Michael Duplessis with distinction. Ashton Flowerday with distinction. Kara Grobler with distinction. Gabriel Grobler with distinction. Nicolaas Kirsten. Neo Leope. Andreas Lou. Chloe McMahon Marais with distinction. Chitsa Mangwanda. Jason Maritz. Heider Miller with distinction. Mariam Mohammed Al-Mahdi with distinction. Arnu Moller with distinction. Malosi Moloantwa. Alexander Mwendesi with distinction. Tashil Naidu with distinction. Bekempilu Ntlela. Elodie Ngoyi. Marco Oosthuizen with distinction. Andreas Otto with distinction. Shivan Pillay. Shelley Ann Robertson with distinction. Regan Shen with distinction. Gabriel Shuderu with distinction. Poppy Sigama. Kyle Smith with distinction. Keanu Swart with distinction. Zilealem Tesema with distinction. Douglas van Rielwyk. Stefan van Schoor. Gianni Volpi with distinction. David Walker with distinction. Jia Wang with distinction.
I'm now going to ask all of our graduates to please stand. Let's give them a big hand for their hard work and perseverance. Now around us are the family, the friends, the spouses, the partner, sometimes the kids that have supported us through this journey. Please turn to them and applaud them, graduates. And then finally, behind me are the people that supported you to get to this moment. Please give them an applause. We've come to the end of the proceedings. Before we close, we wish to invite all of you present for refreshment afterwards in the marquee situated outside of the Rembrandt Hall. You are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until the assembly has been dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the national anthem will appear on the screens. Please rise. By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of Pretoria.
Cantiamo